Hello, hello, my loves. How are you? Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to get straight in to part 2 of the Elven Guardians of the Planetary Lifesource. But one little thing that I just wanted to say first before I get into it is I don't know whether anyone else is experiencing this at the moment, but I really do feel like they're trying to give me a massive push to let go of the last few things that I have within 3D that I hold dear. An example of that, this last week, my unicorn that I absolutely love, I love this unicorn, fell off my sideboard and its horn snapped off. That can't be good. My husband, who's amazing, has managed to stick it back on, but literally the unicorn's horn snapped off. So I think somebody somewhere is trying to tell me to let go of all my 3D stuff. Then this red bird that I absolutely love, everybody that is aware of Dolores Cannon's method, it starts with see a red bird. My red bird, my 2-year-old daughter whacked it like that and smashed its foot off. Oh look, mummy, a red bird, bash. Yeah, I had to save up for 6,000 years to buy this red bird and she's ruined it already. But luckily, again, my amazing husband has managed to stick with his superhuman glue, has managed to stick the foot back on the red bird, so it will live to see another day yet. And then I had this amazing little cowboy boot. Oh God, it's all falling over. Oh, live on camera. This is my point. This is my actual point. Everything is literally falling to shit everywhere, all over my house. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I had last night, I've got a little cowboy boot I absolutely love that I bought when I was in America, my favourite place. I love America. I love you, America. And my husband and I did Route 66 when we got married, and we did from one side of America to the other, 3 weeks. It was amazing. And we also did a little dog's leg up to Monument Valley, and also to Las Vegas as well. Amazing. Had such a good time. And we went to a place called Calico, which was just amazing. So good. And I bought this little cowboy boot from Calico, and it said Ride 'em on it, and it had a little like spur at the back, and it was beautiful. That fell off my bookcase last night, smashed everywhere. We couldn't find a massive big piece of it. I had no idea what happened to it. I was thinking, oh please God, please make sure that neither one of my children has actually eaten this piece of cowboy boot. And then as I was drinking my coffee last night, I nearly choked to death on it. It was in the bloody coffee cup. So beware, beware of falling 3D-ness, because it's all falling to pieces around us as we speak. 3D is coming down, I'm telling you. Right, and on that note, we'll start the session. So this is the second instalment of the session that I read out to you last week. Just to give you a little recap and refresh your memory. We started the session with an elven lady with long red hair coming in on a red boat to this place that's like, we found out later it was the sea. They're coming on the sea, and there's like a Viking type Neanderthal-y looking weird character on top of this outcrop that's coming out, that's trying to warn this elven lady away. And they ignore that person, get off the boat onto this sandy little area where there is a hole in this outcrop thing that juts out. There's all shells around the front, and this elven princessy type person gets this feeling because they can see an image that pops into their head of a man who's got a humanoid body but a hyena head. Then there's a massive big battle as she goes into the cave between her and loads of these hyena dudes who she blows up. Then she realises then that she's now an elven man. So she's gone from being an elven woman to an elven man. And then she chases these two other hyena dudes who broke off from the main group, chops them to smithereens with her magic light sword, and then, oh sorry, he's a man now, isn't he? Then he recharges his hands on this rock, which appears to have this source of energy and light contained within it. And then he makes a descent down inside the planet, and he uses this energy that he's taken from the rock to create a fireball which projects all of these amazing crystals in this tunnel, bright blue granite tunnel that's just magical, and all of the tunnel walls start to light up as he walks down. Then he descends down these rocky steps that have been hewn into the rock at the side of a waterfall. He keeps going down into inner earth, and then he comes into this massive big cavern where the path stops and there's just a lake. And so he thinks, well, why is the path stopped? Why am I in front of this lake? And then he sees this huge glowing, what looks like a pearl underneath the lake. And he realises with this knowing that he's been here before, and he starts to climb into the lake and walk downwards, takes a huge deep breath, completely submerges, and he walks up to the pearl, and he sends this energy that he's taken out of this rock into the pearl. A magic door opens. He steps into orange smoke inside of the pearl. He gets taken by two oriental ladies into this magical other dimension that's not of this dimension, that's totally different, where everything looks different. There's a shell bridge. He goes across the shell bridge. He comes up to this palace that's got oriental white gates with white dragons on them. He opens these gates. He goes into the palace that's got a mosaic floor. He sees a big golden throne with a woman sat on it who's too small for the big golden throne. She's got a pearl headdress on. She takes it off, puts it on the floor, runs across to him, throws her arms around him and says, I've missed you so much. And at that point, the memories start to return to this guy, because he's really had to lower himself in density to go down into presumably the 3D world to sort this rock situation out and these hyena dudes. Now he's back in his own dimension. All of the memories come flooding back, and he realises that this woman is his love, his queen. She is his other half. So that's where we got to from the first half of the session last week. So I will continue with the rest of the session now. So I say, so is this where you normally live, in this dimension, in this, where you came through this pearl? Yes, but I have to go off and protect the energy rocks. Why do you have to do that? Because if I didn't go and protect the rocks, evil would root them out and use them for evil things. Firstly, the planet in that area would die, as the energy sustains life and growth in the areas where these rocks are placed. What is it that gives the rocks their energy? They have been there since the planet was created. So the energy rocks are in a lower dimension, and you have to protect them in this lower dimension. Yes, I have to make sure that no one gets to these rocks in the lower dimension. That is my role, my calling, my task. Has anyone ever managed to get these rocks that shouldn't have? No, I have always managed to stop them. How is it that you know when these rocks are under threat? I am connected to them. I feel when they are under threat. The reason I arrived by boat was to not alarm the people who live there. The Viking guy saw me arrive by boat, and I could have arrived from anywhere. But I did not arrive from anywhere. I arrived from a different dimension. I came in by boat so as not to alarm them. They just would not understand. Why is it your job to protect the lower dimensions? Because if the energy fell to the dark, it would bleed into the higher dimensions. So we have to protect them. And this woman that you have come back to, who is she to you? She is my love, my soulmate, but she is a very, very powerful individual. She is the ruler, but she's not the ruler, as nobody rules anything. But she has something to do with maintaining the energy. She has something to do with, or she's the reason. She maintains the energy to all of these rocks. She maintains the energy. These energy rocks around the planet. She manages this energy to make sure that these rocks are constantly renewed. And I'm connected to the rocks through her, as we are soulmates. So we are kind of a team. She manages the energy to the rocks that sustains the planet, and I protect the rocks to make sure that no one takes the rocks. Where does she get her energy from? She gets her energy from the core of the planet. So the whole source of the reason the planet is alive is because of the energy at the centre of the planet. This is what I could say, like for Earth. Maybe this is Earth, I'm not sure. But it's the same for all planets, all over the galaxy, all over the universe, depending upon what stage of growth they are at. Tell me more about that. Everything comes from something, an original source of energy. That energy is then placed into a void. The energy then grows and takes form. It grows into a planet. That planet goes through a life cycle, just like Earth has gone through a life cycle. The way the Earth-like planets work, the energy creates the rocks, the structure. Then the energy centres are placed around or near to the surface of the planet, and then they create life. Through vegetation, generation of cell growth, living creatures. Moving creatures are no different to plants. Animals are no different to plants. They just move. The creatures that have the various senses, they have senses, yes, but trees have senses too. They are just different senses to the animals. Trees feel. Trees see. They don't see through eyes. They see through sense, whereby they can visualize what is around them. They can bring it into being. Same with any plant. They can all do the same. Everything has a level of sense or senses. When you break a rock, it doesn't bleed, but it feels the parting. Now that you are back in this place, in this different dimension, what happens now? I stay there and I bond with my queen until such time as I get a calling to go and protect an energy cell. That call happens again. And while doing that, she will maintain the energies and make sure that they are fed and sustained so they can sustain the growth of the planet. So the energy cells are around the planet near the surface, but there are also ones deeper underground that sustain life. So they, in a sense, act like the sun. They enable vegetation to grow out of sunlight and feed beings that live not on the surface and out of the sunlight. What we do is we manage and protect these. These are energy cells. They sustain life, create life. They spread goodness and happiness, because to live is a happy existence, providing that the bad or the evil is not allowed to attack that happiness. But unfortunately, evil is always there and will always try to manipulate it. Were those hyena-headed beings from your planet the ones who came to try and steal the rock, or were they from somewhere else? They were created by the evil, created to frighten away humans. The Viking was probably waving and shouting at me because he could not see my true form. He saw the woman, or the illusion of the woman. He was trying to warn me about these foul beasts that he had seen going into the cave. And seeing me as a woman, he feels that I am weaker than him, and he's a man. And he was trying to warn me that he didn't want me to go near that cave. So I say, why did your physical body have the appearance of a woman when going into the cave initially? So as not to alarm the natives. The Viking man that was on top of the mountain. Perceiving me as a woman, I am less of a threat. And I say, because you would be perceived in a better way and less of a threat if you were a woman. Exactly. So that was just an illusion, the red-headed woman at the beginning. Yes, that's why it was so difficult for me to see myself initially when you were asking me to see myself and to work out what I'd got on, as I was wearing an illusion for the Viking to stop him from panicking. God, this stuff it's very involved, isn't it? Not only is he a man in this life, seeing himself as an elf in another life, but that elf is wearing the illusion of a woman elf. Woo! Stuff is not for the faint-hearted. So I say, so this place where you are now with your love, your soulmate, do the two of you rule? That's probably not the correct word. Do the two of you manage this place, this dimension? She manages the energy. She somehow guides the energy from the central source of the planet and keeps replenishing the energy cells, or these rocks, as the energy gets used in the growth of life. So her role, let's say, is to keep all these energy cells replenished with energy. So as they get run down, a bit like batteries, she makes sure that they are recharged. I think that's what I did. As I'd used energy to destroy those hyena-type creatures by making that red ball of energy to throw at them, I then replenished my energy by putting my hands on the energy rock. That was why my whole body was glowing. So Now you're back in your home dimension. Do you still look like an elf now? I've got very long, silvery blonde hair tied back. I've got elven type ears. I am very, very tall, very good stature, very well formed. I think he means that he's quite hot, but because he's speaking from a higher consciousness perspective, he just describes himself as very well formed. Interesting. She's quite tall as well. He's talking about his lady. She's got very long blonde hair, and it's in a long type of plait, very ornate. She looks a bit like Elsa from Frozen, that type of plait, but it's all the way down to her thighs. She's very beautiful. She's always beautiful. What colour eyes does she have? Blue and green. Dark blue like the waters of the planet, and green like the light emanating from the large pearl. She has a beautiful silver dress on. And how does she send energy to those energy cells? How does she do that? She guides the energy from the core of the planet to each energy cell. It's a bit like a flash of energy. She guides it with her hands. She has a power and an ability to grasp a portion of energy and cast it from a place that is near to the centre of the planet, and it passes through everything and targets the energy cell and recharges that energy cell. These energy cells, once they are recharged, they last for such a long time. It's not a matter of moments. It's not something that she needs to do constantly, because we are connected to the planet and to each other. We feel when they are getting low. She recharges them, and I go to them when they are in danger. The evil knows about this energy, and it is constantly looking for ways to harness this energy. At the moment, all they have is dark energy, and we can't let them get hold of the light energy, as they could destroy everything. So that needs to be maintained. Yes, and the dark energy needs to be destroyed. Is anyone trying to do that? Destroy the dark energy? There's a force that tries to keep the dark energy contained so it does not spread too far. The dark energy breaks out every now and again, but it is always brought back. If that dark energy escapes, sometimes it is just destroyed so that it no longer exists. And the dark energy is quite wise, as it tries to stay together, as when it stays together, it can work under that level of restraint. It's when it tries to break out, it gets destroyed or thrown back again. This force which tries to contain the dark energy is constantly trying to reduce or remove the dark energy. But the dark energy is always fighting back to survive. So it has two things. It fights to exist, which takes some of its energy, and then it tries to grow by spreading its evil and converting or changing good into bad. And it can do this easily with human beings. It's so easy to do this with human beings, as they have a very weak will. Why is that? Because they have not evolved enough to realise what true good and true evil actually is, what it really is. They are not evolved enough to understand, or those that do understand keep that knowledge away from the rest and keep them under a blanket of ignorance. Is there anything else that you would like to tell me about this world? And I actually meant the world where he is in terms of this Elven dimension, whether it's on Earth or whether it's on another planet. But I believe he thought I meant this world as in our world. So this is what he says next. This world is changing because it has to change. Because this evil that I speak about has grown too strong, and it has been too strong for too long now, and it needs to be destroyed once and for all, so it does not exist here. It manipulates the innocent, and it prevents them from being good as they are manipulated. They are educated in the way that the evil wants them to be educated. They are taught to believe certain things and not to think outside of the box. Things like magic and other dimensions are taught to be hideous ideas or fanciful. How can there be aliens? But the question I say to you is, how can there not be other life forms? If life can happen on Earth, why can't it happen on other planets? There are billions and billions of other planets. It is ridiculous that people still believe that there aren't other life forms. There are several dimensions on each planet. There are beyond billions of different life forms. Is there anything else that you could tell us about where you are now in this dimension, in this elven world, that could help us where we are now on Earth? This dimension and world where I am now is just pure goodness. There is no bad here at all. Everybody is happy. Everyone looks after each other. Everyone communicates with everyone else. Trees, plants, rocks, water, air, everything communicates. It is such a divine existence. But there's no evil here, you see. But it's a different place to what Earth is. It's a different existence. It's a different vibration. We resonate on a totally different level. We are free spirits. Everybody loves everybody else. It's pure happiness. I could not imagine any other existence. I would never allow an existence where a life or where evil exists. Why would you want evil in your life? It's ludicrous. It's crazy. And humans live in that existence. You cannot understand why. And then I obviously am seeing the irony of this, because he's telling me all this, but he is a human right now on Earth, laid on my bed, having a hypnotherapy session. So I say to him, is that why you came here? To help these humans to fight back this evil? And he sighs, so long, so deep, so weary. The sigh of somebody that has seen it all and then some. And he says, help. It is hard trying to help people who don't want to be helped or do not even understand what the help is there for. And at that point I had to stop because I'd kept him in the past life for about an hour and 20 minutes and I only had 40 minutes to ask his higher self questions, so I had to bring him out at that point. I really didn't want to. I wanted to stay there forever. I really hope he comes back to see me again because that was an incredible session. So today the only thing that is left for me to say is Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Please do join us to do the meditation on behalf of Gaia and planetary ascension. It would be really great to see you there, joining your light with others all around the globe in order to help Gaia and ourselves raise our frequency to that of the new earth. If you are wanting to do the meditation, I believe it's around 9 minutes 30 seconds, maybe a little bit after that the meditation starts, and that video can be found on my YouTube channel, a couple of videos prior to this one. If you would like to book a session with me to come and see me for a quantum healing hypnosis session, you can book on my website, which is www.laurawhitworthqhht.com. If you are based elsewhere in the world and you would like to have a quantum healing session with one of the amazing practitioners that's based around the world, there's 3,000 of us official practitioners, you can find us on www.qhhtofficial.com. If you click on search for practitioners and you wait for that screen to come up, there are some filters. If you type in your town, it will bring up all of the practitioners for you that are based in your town, in your country. Then you can just go through each one and decide which practitioner resonates for you, and you can book in with them. And I will be back with you next week with another amazing session. I have got some truly incredible sessions to share with you guys. I'm booked out every week, 3 sessions a week, so I'm getting some really, really good, some great people coming and some really great sessions. So I will keep sharing the information. Make sure this week you keep vibrating high. Don't let anybody trigger you, no matter what is happening in the 3D world. Do not allow anybody to trigger you. Maintain your frequency. Concentrate on your frequency always. Nobody has the power to change your frequency other than you. So bear that in mind as you fly through this week on such a high frequency that life is just wonderful. Until next time, make sure you keep vibrating high, and I will see you in the meditation. Bye.